Hello and welcome to another edition of Attack Line. My name is Chad and I'm joined here as always by Dizzy.
How you going?
We've got a massive show tonight for you guys. Of course, we're going to have a look at the games that happened over the weekend. We've got a big preview of the upcoming games. Of course, league teams on court for the first time this year. And we're going to have a look at a few issues circulating the volleyball world in South Australia this week.
First of all, we have to do a big thank to Uberjak'd, mine and Chad's favourite producer in Adelaide. He's actually given us the rights to use some of his tracks for our intro and our outro. This is to prevent us getting sued, basically.
We don't want that.
We've had over 1,000 views now, thanks to a lot of people in South Australia and interstate. Hence, we've got these haircuts. We've spruced up a bit.
Check it.
Got to look good.
Got to look good. We have fans. We got to look good for them.
This episode we're going to, as Chad said, wrap up the reserves and div from the weekend and talk about the beach volleyball awards that were given out on Sunday night at the Watermark. We're also going to talk about the double-header dilemma in South Reserves. So
yeah, a bit of an issue. It's not just South Reserves, but it's going to affect all reserve teams at some point during the year. A bit of an issue, and we'd like to hear your feedback. We'll bring that up later in the show.
And we're also going to have our regular segments, the Metre Ball, Chad's Mailbag, and of course, Wombat's Burrow.
This is Attack Line.
So first of all, we're going to wrap up the reserves men's games that happened on Saturday. South defeated Mount Lofty 3-1. USC defeated Austral 3-1. Norwood defeated South 3-2. And Henley defeated the Northern Knights 3-1. What does it feel like to play a double-header, Chad, as a reserves men player?
Yeah, I mean, this was an issue that we introduced at the start of the show. It was a bit of a, I don't know, it was an unusual circumstance. We're not really used to it. Obviously, was 7 teams in the reserve division this year. Obviously, there's going to be an uneven amount of playing teams on a Saturday. And obviously, South Adelaide reserve team were the first team to be in charge of this double header.
Obviously, must be hard. I mean, 9 sets.
We played 9 sets that day. I injured myself in the second game, but I don't know. In some ways it can be seen as an unfair advantage, I believe. Obviously, we played 4 sets. We had 4 sets under our belt before we played Norwood. We went to a grueling 5th setter, and they rolled us in the 5th set. I think it's an issue that we need to look at. So also on Saturday we have the Division 1 men playing, which saw the results as follow. USC Lion, they defeated Mount Lofty 2, 3-2. Mount Lofty 1 defeated Henley 1, 3-zip. South were in a grueling 5-setter against Austral, which saw the result South 3-2 winners of that one, and Norwood defeated the Northern Knights 3-2 also. We're going to be updating the ladder weekly, so stay tuned on this segment during future shows. Now, on the previous Sunday, we had the South Australian Beach Volleyball Series awards held at the fantastic Watermark, Glenelg. And what better man to speak about that than the series director? To my left here, Adam Diamanti. What happened on Sunday, Dizzy?
Well, basically, it was about a half-an-hour show, so we went through all the awards for the series in men and women. I'm just going to reel them off here. So, the AAA men, the best blocker was Rusty Moore. The best defender and server was Michael McEwen. And the best setter, attacker, and MVP was Casey Grice. The AAA women, the best blocker was Heike Jensen, the best defender was Sarah Nur, and the best setter, server, attacker and MVP was Alice Rokamp. The AA men and the under 17 men were combined in this division. The best defender was Luke Bonza, the best server was Luke Sibbins, and the best blocker, setter, attacker and MVP was Brendan Cludes.
The big fish himself.
Not bad. So the under 17 MVP was Tim Berry, a local player for South actually, so that's a good pickup. Yeah. The AA and under 17 women, the best blocker, setter, attacker and MVP was Yvette Housestead, another South player, and the best defender and server was Louise Armstrong. The under 17 MVP was Britt Kendall. Now, it's good that most of these under 17 MVPs are now playing state league now, so hopefully that carries on in the future with other beach events.
Yeah, that's right. It's good to see these young players transitioning from the sand to indoor and helping their respective clubs develop through these years.
We also had 3 other awards. The Bikara Palmer Trophy, which is the best female player on the beach, went to Alice Lynch. The Sam Boehm Award, the best male player, went to Danny Hellman. And the Mick Nelson, which is the most passionate player, also went to Danny Hellman. Thanks to all our sponsors, the Watermark Glenelg, Holdfast Council, Care Park, Car Parks, Tim's, Telstra, Nando's, Nippies, Beach Energy and Sound Pond, of course, for providing the beats.
Yeah, it was a great season, and we hope all the players and sponsors alike can carry on through next year and make next season, next series bigger and better than ever.
A special congratulations goes to Cedric Legrand and Josh Court, finishing third in the Thailand tournament in beach volleyball, representing Australia.
Boys. Yeah, great work.
Also, Sarah Battagleen and Katie Bartoli finishing fifth in the same tournament. So
Also
congratulations to
great,
them. Welcome to the Rumour Mill. Chad, you're going to kick us off with a potential new sponsor for Attackline.
That's right. As a small sort of video log, this has been absolutely fantastic for us to hear, but Shane from Joust, based in Victoria, obviously does a lot of work for South Australian league teams with supplying uniforms and clothing alike. He is actually throwing his support behind us, and we are very thankful to Shane from Joust in Victoria. Joust, sponsor plug, Joust.
Bit of news on Facebook in regards to a wombat, actually.
What happened? Tell me
From
about that.
Stu Badman, alright, Stu Nyanko, South player.
South, yep.
One
South
Direction singer has been attacked in the balls by a flying wombat. And in other news, Nathan Wombat McLeod is pulling out of his volleyball career to focus on his aeronautical career.
Yeah, it's a big one. As I said, Rumour Mill, I say it each week. We can't confirm it, but it's stuff floating around, and we've got to deliver on attack line. We have to. We have a responsibility to say the rumours.
Attack line is the bottom line.
It is. That's what we like to say. Now, this one's actually quite a big one. This one's sort of serious. But Norwood League team. Now, we've tried to get in contact with them this week.
League women.
League women. We've attempted to get into contact with them this week to sort of figure out who they're potentially going to be putting on court on Saturday. But as far as we know, they will only be having about 5 players on court. And what we've heard is they actually owe money to VSA. So it's very difficult. It's very difficult to play with 5 players.
Now,
So there you go.
Hayden Jolly, playing up at the mighty Gold Coast Suns, in the shadow of Gary Ablett, has decided to continue his volleyball career at former gold medalist beach volleyball partner Michael McEwen at USC Lion.
That could be a great inclusion. Could be a great one there.
And only recently, I think it was on Facebook or Twitter. I think it was Facebook. I saw a hashtag in the wrong spot. Should have been on Twitter, but it was a Rumour Mill hashtag. Simon Phillips is a bit devastated, but he's actually too tall to be a helicopter pilot.
Yeah, unfortunately, we got that wrong in the first episode. It's one of the many things we got wrong. He's not playing. He was actually going to become a helicopter pilot, and now he's not doing that. So we have no idea what he's doing.
Chasing up money for VSA, probably. So we've got some other breaking news here on Attack Line. From an unknown source, it's found out that every Mizuno-sponsored athlete at this year's Olympic Games in London has to wear exactly the same colour shoes.
Yeah, this
Now,
shoe right here.
the only club that will probably benefit from this are Austral, wearing purple so they can colour code their shoes, obviously. But I don't see it taking off in other clubs. I'm not going to wear purple. I don't know about you, Chad.
Yeah, black and red doesn't really work that well with purple, so it's a great drive for Austral.
So you saw it first on Attack Line. So this Facebook inbox was actually directed at me, but it was about my co-host Chad here. So if you want to go through this mailbox here.
Yeah, guys. It reads question to the mailbag. Dear Attack Line, who is the guy sitting next to Diz? Where did you come from? Why have I never seen you before? And that's from Thomas West. Now, I don't actually know. Like, he sort of speaks as if I'm meant to know him as well. I don't know Thomas West. I know Nick West. Obviously, Norwood League player, quite an instrumental player there. But this has been an awkward situation because I don't know you, you don't know me. So I think the best way to go about this, Thomas, is to you get your people to contact my people. We can grab a cup of coffee or grab a couple of beers, whatever. And we could talk about, I don't know, if we've got a couple of things in common. Maybe we talk about volleyball, Facebook, how good your brother is and stuff like that. So yeah, that'd be great, Thomas. You can get back to me. That'd be awesome.
And that wraps up Chad's mailbag.
Now, it's come that time of the year, guys, that it's round 1 for the league teams. They will be stepping out on court, and this will be a great chance to preview who we think is going to do what. So, Dizzy, start us off.
So the first game is Friday night, South Adelaide versus Mount Lofty. I think the starting 6 for South Adelaide is going to be Chris Gosling, Elliot King, Conan, Josh Hickson, Maxi, and Jono Barend with Billsy as a libero.
Yep.
For Lofty, I think their squad is going to be Marcus Jones, Josh Lowry, Malachi Murch, Sasha Early, Paddy Rogers, Chewy Sawan, Todd Bryan and James Frollo, and of course the Libero Tony Scott.
Yeah, so with these teams, Diz, how do you think each team can be the most successful here? How do you think each team's going to
We've
win?
got a bit of a recipe for success for each team. So South Adelaide, I think they need to utilise their blocking ability through Hickson and Conan.
Yep, obviously great strong blockers in the front court.
They need to pass aggressively. We'll need a 3-option pass 85% of the time in order to stem Lofty, their offence. It's pretty strong. They need to pick balls up, obviously. Lofty have a potent offence. Billsy's the best defender in State League by far, so he's probably going to get a lot of digs.
Yeah, Billsy's the type of player, ball you think is down, he's going to jump out of nowhere and ninja balls up. So I think they need to sort of nullify that effect. So what about Lofty?
Now, Lofty's recipe for success, they just need to serve aggressively. Target South's subpar passing, basically. Limit Josh Hickson's impact. I think he's playing opposite now, but just don't set over him. And feed the Giants. Marcus Jones and Sasha Early, just got to feed them all day.
I think they've got the offense to be able to do it, to put balls away and win matches there. But they need to get the ball to them. I mean, it may become sort of a bit two-dimensional, so to speak. But I think if they can get the ball to them, they're going to win the game. So who's your tip for this one, Dizzy?
I am tipping Lofty.
Tipping Lofty, yeah. I think it's also going to be close, but I'm tipping South in an upset. Now, the next game that we're going to be looking at is between the teams of USC Lion and Norwood. Now, this game's on Saturday at 2 p.m. So I'm going to be looking at the squads here. These are the squads that I think are going to take to the match. So we'll start off with USC Lion. I've got down here JP, our favourite French import. Michael McEwen, Clusie in 3, Tricky Arnold playing. Sam Lambeth, under a bit of an injury cloud. Then we've got Dizzy Kurtzer, Sam McEwen and Rusty Moore in that squad. I think those guys are going to take to court. Norwood, I believe that it's going to be Daniel Warcho, Chris Butterworth, Nick West, Sam White, Tom West, Sam Halliday, Nick Anstey, Tim Grant and their coach Jace Sidorian. Now I think the recipe for success for these teams, and I'm going to start off with Lion, they've got to maximise Clusie's front court time. Obviously last year's best blocker, he's 8'87" and he's a very imposing force in the front row, so they need to maximise his time. They also need to serve aggressively. Michael McEwen and Dizzy popping in 190km jump serves. They need to put pressure on the Norwood passing row in order to make them play their tempo of volleyball. And anybody's ever watched USC Lion play, they need to control their aggression. Now they start very hot, but in essence there's going to be a minimum of 3 sets to play. So they need to utilise their voice, their aggression when it's most needed. Norwood, I think they've got to nullify the McEwens in the passing row. Obviously, Michael McEwen has won any award that's got to do with passing or defending that he's ever played in, and his brother Sam's just as good. They need to find a bunny early and put pressure on him with the serve. They've also got to compose consistent double blocks. The Lion, in my opinion, Lion pass hitters, they like hit off hands, but if you put up a strong double block, you're going to have to make it hit to the defence, and then you're controlling where they're going to hit. So they're going to do everything on their terms. I think they need to also control their aggression, give the noise back, but obviously don't let the Lion boys feed off it. So I think those are the key to success, and I think Norwood are going to win this one, also in a close one.
Well, I think USC is going to come up with the goods. We've got a strong setter and great middles, so it's going to be a good game. So the next game we've got is Henley versus Austral. Now, Austral's starting 6, I think it's going to be Harry, Reese Wood, Sam Paul, Brandon Long, Fraser Smith and Dave Carey, with Peter Bowie as the libero. Henley, they've got superstar Brad Tutton, Hamish Moore, Cam McKenzie, Luke Sibbons, Trav Moran, ex-Olympian, George Sainsbury and Casey Moore as a shadow libero. Riley Stone's going to be somewhere
under an injury cloud, so we think he'll be in this squad.
So I think the recipes for success for Austral, I think they need to put the young kids under pressure at Henley. Let them make their own mistakes. Fraser needs to start getting some more blocks, especially through the middle, just help out the new middles there. Defend. Don't let BT and Trav just dictate the points by themselves. They just need to keep getting balls up and frustrate them into making mistakes.
Yeah, I think that's a big one also, yeah.
Henley, I think they just need to serve around Bowie. He's one of the best passing liberos in the league.
If not the best.
And just gain the upper hand through the middle, so exploit the lack of Austral's second middle and just go full throttle attack.
Yeah, you got to punish them. You got to punish them.
Who has smoother legs, your sister, Harriet, or Fraser Smith?
Fraser.
Who do you love more, Beth Carey or your boyfriend?
Oh, something about Beth Carey. Those thighs are...
What's better, winning a grand final or an aqua concert?
I'd like to say winning a grand final with my coach, but the aqua concert was second to none.
What trait are you famous for?
My arm muscles that look like a man.
Is it a condition of entry at Austral that you must have a weekly arm wrestle with Simon Phillips?
Yes, absolutely. Always.
Is Fraser Smith one surgery away from taking Mickey Jenkinson's spot in the league team?
Take it up with Mickey. See how she feels about it.
Friday night before a game, you're most likely to be...
Out in town.
And
Hi, Jace.
And who would you like to hit a meter ball at?
Murph.
So we've also got League Women playing this Saturday. So we're going to jump straight into the first game, Chad. So South versus Lofty. South squad, it's going to be Sam Simmons, Courtney Dowd, Fiona Milliken, Vicky Wright, Sarah Gould, Kim Wigg and Megan Jones. And the Lofty squad is going to be Anna Maycock, Sheena Peters, Belinda Huff, Mia Surajajo, Tatiana Pole, Sarah Choate, Amy Allen, Bonnie McKenzie, Heike Jensen and Georgie Rowe. Now, there's a few recipes for success for these two teams. I think South Adelaide need to utilise the stronger front row in regards to their blocking. Take the serve back a little bit and own them through the middle with their strong blocking. Lofty, I think they just need to serve aggressively, block strong on the outside and just play really good defence. I think expect a slow speed attack off the bad sets and they should be alright. So my tip is Lofty on this one.
Yep, I'm also going to... I'm very biased towards South, and I think South, they've been training very hard, and I'm going to tip them also in an upset against Lofty. Double upset there. So the next match that I'll be looking at is Lion versus Norwood. Obviously a mirror figure to the men's match. So the Norwood squad is Frances Duddy, Geordie Rosewell, Talia Pretty, Sammy Pretty, and Beck Byers is who we think we're going to see on court. Obviously that's 5 players there. Lion, we've got Beck Reeve, Zoe Lambeth, Olivia Orchard, Stacey Naismith, Emma McEwen, Cara Meyer, Lauren Shippey, Kylie Marshall, Alana Hassel and Alyssa Hall. Now I think the recipe for success for Lion is there's only 5 people on court, so they just have to serve the whole. Really,
yeah,
I think
basically.
you can't play with 5 players.
You can't lose.
Norwood, they also have to serve aggressively, but the 6 players on court, so they're going to have to do that very directly. They've got to nullify Lion's strong passing. Obviously a great passing team, so they really need to put the pressure on their pass. They've got to make the most of their weakness through the middle. I haven't seen too much of Lion, but from all reports that it's their middle blockers is just a bit, they've been lacking a little bit, so hopefully their younger players can step up to the plate and really prove those doubters wrong. So I'm in this match, I'm going to tip Lion. I think Lion 3-zip. I think they're going to get off where they left off last year.
I mean, it's always hard with 5 players, so I'm going to tip Lion as well. So the next game we've got is Austral versus Henley. So Austral's squad, they've got Mickey Jenkinson, Verity Hanker, Bonnie Poulter, Anissa McKenzie, Hannah Berman, Amy Smith, Yulia Popovich and Shirley Garvita. Henley have actually picked up a USC Lion player, Maddie Wakefield, joining Amalia Wilson. So they've got a team of 2. It's going to be a struggle and I'm going to tip Austral.
Yeah, there's a lot of holes in court. There's a lot of holes in court. Just serve the holes and you'll be fine. Cool. It's 2.
We've got a bit of news from South Adelaide that Chad's going to tell you about.
Yeah, the South Adelaide annual quiz night is being held on the 19th of May at the Goodwood Recreation Centre. It's a great night. It's a good fundraiser for the South Adelaide Volleyball Club. My advice, get your token geek, book a table and rock up there. So bookings are essential and your best bet to get a table there is through Leon Jacobson at the South Adelaide Volleyball Club at Panthers website flashing up here. So we're going to leave you today with Ben Lever's YouTube clip of the week.
See you next time on A Tap On.